Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a longer video, and it's more going to be about my journey testing for the CPA and maybe a little bit of background, education, and work experience, just to kind of let you know where I'm standing as far as what I find difficult with the CPA exams. Maybe you do too. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe wherever that is on your screen. Disclaimer, this video is not going to be edited because I don't know how to do that. So let's get into it. Let's see, let's go through education first. So I did a business management major for my undergrad, or business management degree with a major or concentration in accounting. And then I started working from my LinkedIn profile. So if you're doing your LinkedIn, definitely keep up with it, because that's how I got, my first real job in accounting. And so I got hired on, and while working full-time, I did a master's program in accounting. Master's program in accounting. That's where I was going with that. And then I started testing into my CPA. I figured I had, a decent background, that I had a nice foundation to start. One of the biggest surprises when you open up one of those study course, review course material books is if you don't have a solid foundation, you're not going to be able to understand or make those connections. There's a lot of things that I went back and had to do my own research on to just kind of understand what was really being said and why. So if you have to do that too, I would say that's totally normal. I was an AB student. I was not top of my class, but I was definitely a person that people kind of gravitated towards to help clarify some topics. Because when I was going through school, I knew that I was going to test for the CPA, and I knew that I didn't want to just go through the class, that I wanted to actually learn it, absorb it, and I took it very seriously, because I knew that that would help me later on when trying to test and pass the CPA exams. So while working full time, I would come home and I would study for 3 to 4 hours a day. It was like a second job. So if you have a lot of other commitments, or you really have to kind of book it through, because it's not just like when you sign up for an additional class or you take a heavier load. This will continue for at least a year, unless you're super, super, super smart, which then you may be able to pass them a lot quicker than I am able to. But let's see. So right now I don't work. I quit my job to study full time. I have gotten 2 74s. A 75 is a passing score, and I've gotten 2 74s. I passed some exams, I failed some exams. My biggest tip, if you do fail an exam, you're not going to find out for another 3 to 4 weeks afterwards, and you've probably jumped into your next topic or next exam that you want to get into. And while you're doing that, you're definitely, brain dumping the rest of that information that you had just learned. I would say take a solid month, 1 full month, to restudy all of the material, because if you don't stop the current topic that you're on and then just, retest into it, because you have to wait until the next window as well. I ended up losing a lot, and you might too. So I would say definitely put it on your calendar and study for 1 full month, even though you've already spent so many hours on that exam. I would do that. My biggest tip for studying is to make your own calendar. Your life isn't going to stop just because you're studying, and you're still going to have birthdays and events and things that you need to go to. I would put those dates on my calendar, and then I would study around those dates and take, whatever days off that something was going on, because this is going to be your life probably for the next year. And I wouldn't just say, oh, I'm going to study for 3 hours, or I'm going to study for 4 hours. I would put specifically, I want to go through this many multiple choice, this much reading time, this many task-based simulations, this many videos, and really quantify it so that way I could check it off. And as soon as I crossed off that date, I would then, allow myself to watch TV or, do something else that I wanted to do. That worked the best for me. That might work for you as well. Let's see, Prometric Testing Center. So when you go take your exam, definitely ask for a calculator, because they can't offer you one, but they have them, and they can let you have one, but you have to ask for one. And it's like TSA, they wand you, they fingerprint you, and you go into the testing room. They have to keep it at a certain temperature, and I find it cold. So you can specifically ask not to be placed near the AC. You are allowed to bring in like a sweater. You have to wear it when you go in there, but then you're allowed to take it off. So I would do that. Let's see. So my working background. So my first real job outside of school was a controller for a few dealerships, and we had a few other companies within that. And I say it's my first real job because it's my first job where I was able to use what I knew about accounting and kind of build with that. Like, I had other accounting positions beforehand, but I didn't feel like I was really making a difference with it. I was in the private side, so most of this material actually does not even apply, because I feel like it's geared towards public accounting because it's for certified public accountants. But I wish there was more in it for, just the way that you have, GAAP and then IFRS. Like, I wish they had more in it that was talking about, public versus private, because I feel like it's becoming more standard to have a controller or a CFO that have the CPA designation. Let's see. If there are any topics that you struggle with, you can always comment on one of my videos, and I will do my best to try to accommodate that. I really like making the videos for YouTube, because not only do I have to come up with a topic, I have to research the topic, and then by the time I've gone through a few different sources, I feel like I really know that topic, and that helps me remember it even more. You definitely need to look at whatever your primary source is for studying. You need to have something else, something additional, because I don't feel like it's enough, that the additional studying outside of that has got to, be paired with it. Let's see, tax was my favorite class. It was super easy to me because it's all rules-based, and so tax was easy. I'm studying for the CPA, or studying for the FAR exam now, and that seems to be kind of in line with how tax works, where you have rules and then it's mostly equations that you're trying to get through. The hardest exam for me was BEC, and I know you're probably laughing because everyone says how easy that BEC is. Economic concepts and stuff like that, that was so far like in the beginning of my education journey that it just doesn't even make sense to me anymore. Not in total, but not CPA level. And then audit was okay, like that's more theory based, but with that, you have a lot of rules kind of governing where you should be. Well, great. So if you like this video, then subscribe.